Hello, everybody, and welcome to Summit Premier League Season 6, Week 4. We've got a good game today here. Herald's Groovies versus Final Boss Esports. I'm Zydoc. I'm here with Cherry.
Yeah, we got
And
two.
it...
Sorry about
Oh,
that.
yeah,
But
sorry, no.
huh? We're
uh,
coming in to game number one of this best
uh,
of three series. Herald's Groovies instantly banning out the Aurora, a little bit of a newer character releasing in 2024. Looks like they're not trying to deal with those burst mages just yet. On the other side, Final Boss Esports looking to take off the Skarner. Great pick since that blue side does get a little bit of an advantage with those two picks. But right now, we're going to be seeing the Kaisa getting taken out. Next, Final Boss Esports going to be banning out their next two champions.
yeah, Skarner. I mean, if this is pro play, you're imagining a Callista ban, but I don't know if I saw any Callista players. It's going to be the Diana banned out, with a lot of the changes coming through on 15-2. She skyrocketed in popularity and in win rate in both the jungle and the mid role, with some of those electrocute changes coming in. So it's just a safe, solid ban away. And Talia is an interesting one, because I think the jungler of... What team is this? Yeah, the jungler of Final Boss Esports has been really, really enjoying it. So just a little ban away of a pocket pick there could be something we see him. Bard. So I'm just going through everything. Yeah, the support does definitely play Bard. What do we see first pick here is what I'm curious about.
Yeah, you kind of imagine that after taking away so many mid lane and bot laners, there's going to be a little bit of mid priority, but right now
Yep.
Pantheon going to be picked up. That's one of those picks that can kind of be flexed in most positions. You see it in the jungle, you see it in the mid, see it as the support and top laner. A little bit unlikely to be seeing it as a bot side, but Hui going to be picked up in return.
Ooh, wait, Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai's not one you see all too often. Pantheon is a ban away from the jungler here of Final Boss Esports. Rek'Sai is the second most played, definitely favors both of the champions there. Hui is just solid, got good range, generally quite hard to counter unless you pick one of these high damage assassins, which don't normally do too well in the organized play style, as it's going to be Lux picked up on the other side.
Yeah, Lux is kind of a similar boat as the Pantheon where you can
Mm-hmm.
flex it in that mid and
Yep.
support, but I think realistically we are going to want to see that placed in that support lane since it doesn't get as much power as other mages in mid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she certainly can struggle if she doesn't manage to find that route, whereas something like Hui has um, just a really good time of applying this insane damage across the team fight. And that is going to be Yon picked up. This is something I was expecting. It could still be a flex, because I think the mid laner of Herald's Groovies does enjoy both the Pantheon Yon as well as the Yasuo, which may be a little bit of why we saw the Diana ban away from Final Boss Esports. So the Pantheon, the Yon, they can flex between mid and top. Pantheon can still go into the jungle. Um, Saying that, I'm looking. The the mid laner of Final Boss Esports has 0% win rate on Yon this season, so it'll be interesting to see where that one goes.
Little-
Okay, so that, yeah, Akali is picked there for Final Boss Esports on the 3 pick, which is a little strange.
Are we sure
Obviously,
about that since it seems like they're planning on banning the Akali? I mean, I'm
wait,
not
is it the
100%
Akali?
on that, but
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Akali is definitely R3. Just a bit of a... Oh, okay. There's just a bit of a crash on draft lol there. As is it going to be just the... It's just the draft that's remade, yeah? So we have a little bit of time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have a little bit of time to talk there. So the Herald's Groovies, they've got off to a bit of a rough start this season, sitting at 1-2, whilst Final Boss Esports, is sitting at a comfortable 3-0. So there's a little bit of a favorite coming into this matchup, and it's going to be interesting to see how Herald's Groovies come and try play around that, try overcome that deficit. You can see that they're certainly picking up a lot of comfort on their side. But one thing I want to look at is that it's, I believe, Arist in the mid lane there, and he is currently a diamond jungle player, and he's facing a mid laner who is solidly masters. So there is definitely a bit of a disparity in that mid lane there, and I think that's going to be something we want to keep our eye out for as we just wait. Draft should be coming up in just a second.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do think that Pantheon most likely going to be placed in the jungle since it doesn't have as much priority in the top lane. But I think there is definitely going to be chances for that to potentially get placed in mid, drop the Yone up towards top, being able to pilot champions in multiple lanes that could potentially give your opponents a little bit of disparity and uncomfort for where you're
Yep.
going to move to. It's definitely going to give a little bit of a kind of a positive motivation there. But at a 1-2 versus a 3-0 team, you definitely do
Yeah.
favor the 3-0, despite having a couple of tricks up your boot, tricks up your book.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it is just difficult to say where that goes. I think Pantheon does just have a difficult time into that Hui pick in the first place. Because I think the Hui EQ is just such a solid peeling tool, and it can come out so early that it can easily get Pantheon off of him. One thing to say, the Hui is nerfed on this patch. A lot of the damage has been taken away from the QW and the passive, as well as something else. But Hui is certainly a little bit weaker on this patch, so it's interesting to see priority on this champion is still so high. But in the hands of a skilled mid laner can certainly still put in a lot of work, especially if you have a big combo coming through with it, like this Rek'Sai being picked up, like the Akali on top of it. It could be Hui support as well, now we're saying it, because there is an Akali pick. So a lot of flexes on both sides generally does tend to do quite well in these draft pick styles where teams are a lot less organized and generally less prepped against their enemy team because they haven't practiced with each other as much. As the bans are now coming through, we're all caught up, and just wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the Akali. I think that that's definitely a strong pick. It is kind of interesting seeing this way most likely going to be piloted towards that support or AD carry position in the bot side. But let's see. We're going to bans, and looks like we get a little bit more issues coming in.
Yeah, Galio is going
Ooh.
to be the ban away there. So still on the side of Final Boss Esports, very cautious of these flexes, as Karma is going to be banned away as well as Gwen on the opposite side. So they could be looking for something tanky and safe in this top lane if Pantheon fits into that jungle and Yone into that mid lane, and it's going to be Maokai to be banned away as well. On the sides of Herald's Groovies, you are maybe a little bit struggling for magic damage right now. You do have Lux who can act as a primary magic carry, but it's just something to be a little cautious of if you pick two more primarily AD threats here. As we're moving in, Leona's going to be picked by Final Boss Esports, and they're saving their AD carry for the last pick unless it is that Hui in that AD carry role. And it's got, ooh, Swain. Now, where's that going?
Wow, a crazy composition instantly coming out. Not a whole ton of tankiness for Herald,
Mhm.
but they do have that Swain, which can definitely provide some kind of uh front lining. But it's really gonna be up to this Pantheon to kind of get that on hit stun, which you do need. Thresh. So this is an
Okay.
insane composition. I kind of
Yeah.
was under the impression that it would be the Lux or the Pantheon, maybe even the Swain, but I guess that's gonna be like a Swain 80 carry Thresh support, and then like Yone Pantheon mid and or I guess no Lux mid Yone
Mhm.
top Pantheon jungle. I guess that does make the most sense, and it does kind of give everyone their organized roles. Over it's just kind of a crazy composition to see come out. And right on the other side, a Lee Sin to be locked in. So that's going to be a Rek'Sai put in the top lane position with the Hui in that bot lane. A very fun composition from both of these teams with crazy lanes coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be Lee Sin top or mid. I know there are a couple of pro players around the world which seem to really be enjoying it, but I'm not quite sure what they're picking it into, if there is a rhyme or reason as to why they do it. So it could be the Lee Sin in a solo lane, Rek'Sai in the jungle, but I think we are at least confirmed that it's going to be way 80 carry. And we've got two crazy drafts coming out of both these teams for game one. It really looks like it's a game 5 fearless, but it's not. This is going to be a crazy one. Who's got, would I say, a stronger composition? Who do you favor here, do you think?
Um, I'm gonna go with Herald Groovies. I think that despite playing a little bit unorthodox, their overall damage is going to look really good, especially once they start scaling. I think on the opposite side, that Akali is not going to find the value you would want. The only real target they're going to be able to get onto is that Lux. Besides that, most of these players can duel relatively well. It's a similar situation for the Lee Sin to play this double assassin, which are very similar assassins in all regards, to be completely blunt. I think that the Hui is going to be fine. The Hui is going to be a good pick if they can keep this lane in order. But to match it with a Leona certainly is not the kind of pick I would expect, since Hui is a little bit more of a poke champ. Meanwhile, the Leona really likes to dive in and play aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, what you were saying, I think Final Boss's draft is a little strange, and I think Herald's Groovies do generally have quite simple and easy ways to get on that way, and it's going to be on Final Boss Esports to peel for this way, keep him alive from all the threat that's coming in, whilst having to deal with the Swain on the backline. I think it's just going to be a difficult task for them. So I'm excited to see how it goes. We are going to throw to a quick break whilst we wait for the draft and the spectator delay, but we'll be right back. Hello, hello, hello. We're getting into game 1 now. We have Herald's Groovies here on the blue side versus Final Boss Esports on the red side. A lot of pings coming through. Is there going to be any level 1 action? As we see, a couple of champions didn't go where we expected them to. Lee Sin is in the top side, and it's going to be Lux in the AD carry role and Swain top side. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna
not
lie to you.
yeah.
This really does kind of give off the impression that the Swain is going to get a significant lead early on, due to the fact that the Lee Sin kill potential under those waves is almost non-existent. So I think the Herald Groovies have a extremely large lead.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Sin should be getting poked down, only picking CS up where he can find it. But I think if the champion is played skillfully, when it's at the level 6 mark, Rek'Sai can come up and they can certainly use their base damage to find this kill as poke is coming out. And we are just doing some good old fashion blaming, never saw that. With a decent trade, not going to matter too much because of the Doran shield and resolve tree that Yone has almost certainly taken.
Ooh.
As
Good coming out there. Find much, but I thought there might have been a little bit of engagement. I mean, with that Leona, it kind of does beg the question, when will we be seeing that engagement? Since the Lux on the board, it's going to be really easy for this Way and Leona to just get that kill early on. The Thrash, it's somebody who can get a little bit of supportive utility down with the lamp, but it's not going to be enough to really find that support that you kind of need if you want to win.
yeah, generally more used for healing than engaging is the Thresh. But with this Lux beside them, she just has such an easy time in these early levels, pushing and poking with the power of that E.
Oh,
Getting those waves through. Yeah, pop comes through.
Wow, maybe they're gonna prove me wrong with the airborne coming out. It really seems like this Rek'Sai is just doing so much damage, able to secure the first blood there. I mean, I was really thinking this Swain would be able to get some great value, but I guess they didn't have the wards up or something. There must have been a misplay that led to that disastrous first blood going over. And it kind of goes to show why this team is 3-0 right now, because of that team play that is coming out.
Yeah, as Neversaw is just going to escape, and now John Dye is no flash, no teleport. Brian's going to be able to get that free reset, walk back to lane, not miss almost anything at all, and come back so much stronger. Swain has a Doran's ring and a tier providing no damage stats, and Lee Sin's got 2 long swords and a control ward, ready to come back and try and dominate this lane. It was just a good gank there, coming out from Rek'Sai. The early levels not respected. When we know these Rek'Sai level 3 ganks can be oh so deadly. Managed to get that base off as well. They comes out. Flash is going to be forced down in the bot lane. Good trade. Coming back in return.
Yeah, but the wave is going to end up going in FBU's favor, with a lot of HP already taken down on these minions. They're not going to be able to collect on the experience. Back up on the top side, we get to see a little bit more damage coming in. And it's going to be Lee Sin able to collect the experience they need to be able to maintain their composure and stick to being that player that wants to get that level 6 first. Right now, though, Tear of the Goddess matched for 2 longswords. So realistically, this Lee Sin definitely going to be in a good spot. Higher CS than their opponent later. So I was kind of doubting the composition. But right now, it definitely seems like this is exactly what they wanted to be. With a big lead coming out in this Lee Sin on the early game. Seems like the Yone is going to find some good damage too. Both teams having some strong picks, but neither is going to be able to find those early kills. But we might be seeing it right now with a setup coming out immediately.
Yeah, Ignite coming through. It's going to be that 1v1 on the turret. It can never saw walk out. That's having to flash away. Spirit Man flashing to follow. And yeah, I mean, it's just that, I mean, in that top side, you still will have that shove of being a ranged top laner, as actually Biddy is maybe looking for a little something here in the bot lane.
Early damage is going to come out. Ryan needing to stay in a composed spot. The root's going to come out. The blinding light's able to hit. Fleeing is going to be there. Stun goes down onto the way, but not going to get too much damage just yet. Tate's still alive, but it's not going to matter. Feats of Warfare come in line, and it's going to be FBE faltering once more here. Despite having the early lead, they've completely lost their gains.
Yeah, I mean, their gains are all gone, but one thing to note is that for FBE, they still do have these big laning leads, especially in that bot lane 13 CS as the insect comes through.
Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. With a great kill coming out, the Lee Sin able to find 2 kills on the Swain, looking to build a little bit more HP, going to be picking up a Giant's belt here. But it's not going to be enough. The solo lanes in mid and in top have been looking extremely volatile here. It's been that Rek'Sai time and time again that's been the playmaking utility that gets these kills. With a 2-1 KDA, they're looking really strong. But right now, they still have to worry. Lee Sin's going to be playing under tower, trying to find something, but the Pantheon's going to be pathing right on up.
Yeah, and Rek'Sai is coming behind them.
Great play from the Rek'Sai, however, it seems to be completely capitalized upon with some damage coming out, forced to back up. They're going to be wasting their time coming to the lane, able to connect the Q onto the opponent, but now it's going to be a misplay from the Yone, tanking a tower shot and tanking a death, and Neversaw able to find the kill. Back over the jungle, we see some more damage coming out. Airborne's there, but it's just not enough to get the finish. It's still going to be Biddy to fall. And FBE has completely regained that lead that they once lost.
Yes, and it's just going to be the Rek'Sai finding that kill and picking up the grubs. And a lot of this is just coming from the dominant laning from the solo laners of Final Boss Esports. Akali is constantly having this push. Lee Sin is just ahead in gold, ahead in stats, able to find that solo kill there in the top lane, allowing Rek'Sai to get those grubs for free as doesn't engage in the bot side.
Oh, but the double root will be there. Not going to be able to secure the kill onto the Leona. A little bit of a misplay. They need to be able to secure that kill if they want to get the gold. The Leona still going to be the jungle. Taser going through, able to try and get that off, but there's going to be the vision coming out. Red Ward not going to let them get unspotted, but do they have enough time to get destroyed? And they will not, converting the gold. A stellar play coming up from this Leona. Essence going to be really happy with that, keeping the gold in check.
Yeah, I mean, the dive did look a bit botched from Final Boss Esports, especially with how fast the turrets ramp in this season. It's going to be a lot of damage coming out from them, but Essence managed to live on just that one bit of HP as Biddy's engaging back in the bot side.
Oh, Knockers able to secure the kill. Ryan potentially going to be taken down here, but they're going to be able to push their opponent into the tower with the R, looking to go for more. But right now, we're going back to the bot lane. Shield's coming through, able to get a little bit of damage off, but not going to be able to get much. Blinding Light's going to be able to take the root, and they're going to be able to get out unscathed. A great play from this Lux to be able to keep their Pantheon alive and well, but still, the kills are even, but it's a 1k lead for the opponents here. Biddy getting trapped, but still not going to need any real reassurance with the Lux coming over. They're going to be very happy to just keep the play, but Blast Cone sends him straight on over. This Yone in a pretty bad situation here. Hits the ult, not going to be able to connect anything. Artist will fall, but it's still Essence keeping out this Lux from trying to engage in this fight. It's just FBA doing a stellar job at keeping everyone away. This is a masterclass performance.
Yeah, and it was that perfect execution, that cool little mechanic used to get caught in the Yone ult, make sure that he couldn't go over the wall, so the Rek'Sai can come and finish off the kill from over in the Dragon Pit. And it again, it just comes down to how well Final Boss Esports are laning. Akali constantly has this shove. Ryan constantly has this shove to be able to make ththese moves. So Rek'Sai can just walk around the map and pick up the objectives. It's currently 2 objectives to 0. They just need to pick up 1 more to get that objective feat. It was the Heralds that picked up kills as Ryan just ward hops out of there. Nice and safely. A good thing about that, Lee Sin, when you get yourself into a tricky position, you can just disappear. As everything seems to have settled down. I have a feeling around these grubs it's going to pick up. Both supports are moving towards this top side. Now, something which is not the best, as I'm saying this, Rek'Sai is looking for a little something around mid lane. Grubs have now spawned. Everyone is moving over as top wave crashes. Jomdai has burst move. But it's Final Boss that are going to get the first start.
Oh, first Grub's going to be taking down FBE, able to commit to it. Leona's going to be able to get that stun off. Still, though, Airborne's coming in. The absolute massacre is going to be there. Really strong play, able to shut down the jungler, looking to commit, but 5 players here took a lot of time for this bot tower to start taking damage. Teleport's going to come through, but it's just not going to be soon enough. Seems like this first... Oh, never mind. The first plate won't even be taken yet.
Yeah, and it is going to be the full grub secure. It's this Rek'Sai is currently 5-1 as Essence looking for the top lane.
Oh no, Jomdai, even with the ult enabled and on the line, they're still going to be forced to back up, potentially falling down. Not going to fall down though. In the end, they're going to concede the fight, let this tower go down a little bit, but an ult coming in from Biddy secures the first. This wave being a little bit too overconfident. The Rek'Sai is going to come back on in. Teleport's coming through. Biddy trying to back up, but back him straight into enemy towers. Going to be able to get that Q off. Stun comes through onto the enemy jungler, but still Biddy trying to secure Essence. Ult comes through from the Yone, not committing anything though. And it's still just going to be FB. 1 player backs out, 1 player dies. And they're going to be really unhappy with that.
Yeah, they're just overextending on these plays. I think it might be the 2nd time it's happened now. Looking for these plays a little too far. Thinking they are a lot stronger than they are. Because this way is not up too much. It is farming better. And I think got a solo plate there on that bot side. So is just up in gold on this Lux, but that doesn't matter when you have a Grand Starfall on your head. That's always going to be bad for you, as it was taken down, and then they just try to dive in to salvage the play, but they did lose it, and we did see that gold graph. I expect that to be another one of those, well, I guess it's not valleys because it's red side, so it's upside down, but you know what I mean, dips in the gold graph, as we see there, just throwing away 1,000 gold for funsies, as the game is quite back out. As I say that, I can never say that apparently. I never saw drop bomb.
Oh, but Neversource still able to back out with the power of that Akali movement, going to be able to limit this blue side's action. Jomdai still going to be trying to go for some pokes, but the waves just go clear. Onto the bot lane. Damage comes through, but no kills will be secured.
Yeah, just so slippy on Akali. Doing a good job there of using that, taking some attention away. Essence has
Ooh, big damage and big kills potentially coming out, but Ember's still able to get out. Ignite comes through, but not going to be able to do much. Flashes there. Artist falls. Never saw, not going to be seen whatsoever with a blink and you miss it play. They're going to be able to take this kill advantage back in their hands. Waves starting to crash into the tower, but instead just going to back off no matter what. Right now, it's really seeming like FPE has taken this advantage, and despite losing a little bit, they've come back bigger and stronger.
Yes, it certainly does look like they have. These plays not working for the Heralds on either side of the map. Ryan, is that going to be the first turret? It just is. Kick into the wall. Is the damage there?
Oh, Dr. Knockers trying to get out, but against a Lee Sin. It can be so volatile, so imperative that you can get that first Q hit. Right now, though, connecting the ult, looking for more. Gonna be able to secure the Q. Backing up, rendezvousing back over to their original checkpoint. Yone is just going to fall back, not try and keep on fighting. Still, though, two players Neversaw trying to get out of this bad position. Jake or John Dye still not going to be able to connect the root, but they do have that available at some point. Q's going to be able to connect, not going for it just yet, allowing it to dissipate. Still, though, fight's going to be in hand. The dive comes in. Swain's going to fall, but it's just not enough right now. They seem to want more, and they're going to be able to get it. Connecting the Q, looking for the dive, able to get it. Stun comes out, able to bring them out, but the chain is here. Looking to get more. Rockets going to be activated. The stun comes in. Neversaw finds one, and at such a desperate amount of HP, they're just going to back up and find their way back to the base.
Yeah, Neversaw just playing on the edge there, and it just keeps happening that there's just so much pressure drawn. Biddy had to ult into that bot wave, 2 people had to respond to Ryan, 2 people were responding to the mid wave, that the whole of Final Boss could just congregate around that dragon with just a few people dotted around to make sure that is secured, which is now their 3rd objective, I believe, picking that up. And it was happening on every objective, it was happening on all the grubs as well, as Herald is spawned now as well. It just feels like Heralds are playing on the back foot every single engagement in this fight. They're desperately looking for something with this Pantheon. They feel, we have the ult up, we need to use it to generate that side lane pressure so we can try contest these objectives, as Ryan's found a little something.
Oh, dived into the Herald pit. Lots of players to support the engage. Yone's going to be grabbed, but it's going to be a misplay from the Leona ult. One player stunned up. Ult comes in from the Lux. Essence going to fall down. Nobody there to peel. And it's just going to be a Herald to be converted. It seems like there's not going to be too much out of the woods just yet for FBE. They need to work towards getting even more value, but they're still going to be able to convert a little bit more with the tower falling down. Airborne comes out, and the blast going to take them to their knees. It's going to be the next death from Count. And oh wow, Neversaw's going to find one. A little bit of damage coming in on the line, but right now the Swain's going to be keeping him in a difficult position. Not going to be able to find much. Dying out. It's going to be the Pantheon to bring the trades back, but still though, buddy's going to try and go for more. It's just a Yone to try and get that last jungler, and it's a complete team wipe. Or not wipe actually, but it was a good team fight for both sides. Couple wins, couple losses, and you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, since realistically FBE, they don't need to win, they just need to make it look better, because they are the team that needs to take these towers.
Yeah, they certainly are. They got good damage there on that blue middle turret, that tier 2. One thing is though, that as pings come through, this bot lane hasn't been touched in a while. No one's really been there. They've all been really overgrouping, and they're just missing out on so much gold there in the bot lane. And it is constantly pushing towards Herald, as that tier 1 turret on the red side is still up there in the bot lane. So it's not so much that they have to respond to it, rather that Heralds are always under constant threat of that bot wave, as Neversaw now moves into it. We may be settling into a little bit of a more traditional laning with less overgrouping. It is going to be the Atacon in 30 seconds. I believe it is the Roses on this Atacon, as there's going to be fishing around it. Ryan is going to secure that Scuttle Crab there, as both teams are fighting for vision in this bot side in anticipation for the Infernal Dragon. And it's going to be really quite hard without this mid turret, with the freedom of movement, having all the tier 1s taken that Final Boss Esports have. It's going to be quite hard for Heralds to step up to try contest this vision. Rek'Sai could be sitting in any bush. If Akali's not on vision, she could be sitting in any bush. And Akali currently will one-shot almost every member. Not too sure about that. Swain with the Fimbulwinter picked up there. As we're looking for a little play onto John Dye here, see if we can force this tier 2. It's not going to be on, as it's 10 seconds until this Drake now. And Herald have decided to pitch top lane as the play's here.
Oh, John Dye trying to make their way to the bot lane, thinking they're gonna be able to get a little bit more, I guess just peaceful, but instead they're going to get completely found out. The Rek'Sai gonna dive straight on in. Lots of players from HG gathered around a bot. Only gonna be this Lux to really try and make some space around the rest of the map. Gonna get that last minion down. Roots comes in, maybe finds out the Lee Sin. Let's see if their abilities can come online, but they're gonna dash in anyway. This Madman going online. Ravenous Hydra is there to get the heal, but there's so many people coming in. Flashes, they're able to get the fleeing off, but that's just a little bit. They need to get these wins, and realistically, after that dive onto the Lux, that's gonna be really good to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be that Dragon there. Lux almost dying, having to respond to that top wave, and that's just what it is with these turrets, is permanent pushing as we have a pause.
Yeah, a pause.
This permanent pushing from the side lanes, as I'm saying, I'm not too sure what the pause is about. For blue side support, so Spirit Man having a few technical issues. I'm sure we will get it resolved as quickly as possible, and maybe it's some time to think at least.
I mean, it is definitely great there, because when you're up 3-0-2, you're going to be that player who you'd think wouldn't have the tech issue. So if these don't get resolved, that's definitely not going to be looking phenomenal for HG. They gotta get that back, and if not, they might just be down and out in at least map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly wouldn't be great, as they've just been, like, the game has been quick and it's been messy, but Heralds just feel like they've been outplayed on almost every opportunity. Final boss have just been quicker, they've just been mechanically outperforming, they've been better on their macro, certainly on their side laning, generating pressure through that. And Herald's Groovies, apart from that Herald they have in their pocket, I'm not sure if it was placed, have quite little going for them. They really need to... I don't know what they need to do, whether they don't really scale better. So they need to, I don't know, just, I guess, find these picks and try cheese around objectives, but, here's going to be a really difficult battle for them, it feels. Certainly possible.
Not the greatest situation for this blue side to have their jungler, support not in the way, but it seems like we're going to be getting straight back into the game, looking to kind of get back right into the swing of things. Let's see how this is going to play out. As we can note, a couple players gathered around the extremities of this jungle, Leona and the Akali, both matched up. Let's see who's going to be the one to try and find that early bit of damage. As we were saying earlier, the Akali and Swain not going to be players that can kind of match each other in the best way, since that Akali does not have that one-shot potential anymore, since they're building a little bit of that magic resistance. But for the other side, the Swain is an 0-5, not able to connect a single kill yet. They're not going to want to take those 1v2s. Realistically speaking, they might just want to concede for both sides. Still FBE going to play aggressive down in the bot lane. Ult comes in, but they're ulting straight into the tower. A couple of hits come through, but it's not going to matter. It's going to be the top laner over for FBE to get shut down. And this bot tower is also looking to fall.
Now it is going to be a little important here to look at how FB respond. It was a good play. Biddy ulting down into the bot side, knowing that Ryan's going to overextend, but FB need to look to trade something on the map now, as that's going to be Dr. Knockers taken down, and it's going to be recalls forced from Herald. So they can't push forwards for that tier 2, but that pick does really certainly open up opportunities for them. FB felt they maybe couldn't go toward the Atakan because there was the pressure of pushing in that mid tier 2. It's trades like these that they need. The gold lead is only 1.7k, but it just feels, the game just feels so difficult for them with these with this Akali and this Lee Sin and this Rek'Sai sitting in bushes waiting to strike.
Eversaw gonna drop a little bit of utility there. Smoke screen out, so if they do get into engagement, they'll feel fine, but Ryan taking some damage. The Pantheon there, they're gonna be able to get a little bit more damage off with this Under the Sky and get that overheal, but right now Ryan just gonna fall either way. Double items, not gonna be able to find 2 kills. Instead, they're gonna be forced back into the spawn room. And ooh, this Atacon potentially gonna be fought for, but no, instead they're just gonna be diverging away, looking to back towards blue side as well. Damage comes out, Dr. Knocker is gonna fall down, and still, it's gonna be 1 kill. This Pantheon might be the next. Neversaw gonna take first engagement. Damage is gonna be there. Ignite gets connected. Still though, not gonna die just yet until Neversaw is able to get that final hit and get that to 18 kills.
Yeah, as Rek'Sai jumps on, RS is looking to beat Rek'Sai taking very low actually. Shondai is the ult going to be enough coming out of that swine. Essence is going to flash away as Lee Sin is TPing, tried to constantly apply this sideline pressure as Final Boss Esports are drawing everybody up to the top side. People are now going to have to recall this. Atacon still being fought over. It's going to be Dragon in 45. Is there a Dragon we're missing?
Seems like it. I'm not totally sure, but maybe a little bit of a mistake with the overlay, potentially something like that. We'll see how that will end up, which Drake will be. Oh.
Okay, so this is Soul Point. No, this is Soul,
wow.
sorry. This is Soul for FP. There's a Hextech Drake on the side of FP. They really need this. That changes the game dynamic so much. This Infernal Drake, especially with this Akali, with this Way as well, just adding so much extra damage to that poke as Ryan is trying to stay in the mid lane, force them out. Dr. Knocker's taking a bit of a late TP here. Is the call just going to be to trade it? I mean, they don't really have any objectives on the side of Heralds to use this Atakan with. Rek'Sai is going to solo the Infernal Drake there. As the Atakan is started, it's going to be Hui and Akali, Neversaw. Moving up, they're going to be forced off here. Hui and Akali are strong enough, they're scary enough as Ryan is looking for the flank. Rek'Sai must be close to taking this Infernal. Is there gonna be a fight?
Oh, Infernal Drake's gonna be slain. That gives the Rek'Sai time to come up and contest for this Atacon. Right now, both teams tossing, prodding, looking for some damage. Able to connect it. 6k HP remaining. The counterattack is here. Locket gets activated. Stun comes down. Fleeing to contain. The flank is there from the Akali. And it's a triple kill for the fight win. 5 players, 4 kills for 1 player known as Neversaw. And they're not even going to try and go for the Atacon by the looks of it. Instead, running it down, shutting down these towers. Never mind, they're going to go for a Baron.
Yeah, it's going to be the Baron picked up. They do have the opportunity to pick them both up, I think, but it's Lee Sin and Akali going to be running towards these top Barons, splitting the pressure a little bit. This Baron is going to be a little slow. We don't have any traditional marksman or damage dealer outside of the way, so Gonna take a while, but it will certainly get there. As it was just a good play. Atacon shredded some of those resistances early on in the fight. Tate managed to land the full combo on top of Essence to take down Spirit Man, I believe, very early in the fight. Ryan's a little caught.
Oh, Ryan trying to get out, but they're just going to get straight on into the Thrash. Getting shut down. Dr. Knockers finally can be able to find some value. We haven't been seeing a super strong performance from them, but right now this is where you got to bring it back with the Baron buff being activated. Otacon could potentially be your next objective if you are HG, because being able to kind of remove those cannon minions from being able to get those towers down and out is really nice, but is going to end up starting this Otacon right about now. 5 players from HG stacked straight onto it. Nobody's gonna be able to find it just yet. Contact will be given. First off, we're gonna be seeing the Airborne coming in. Stun come through. Ult's gonna be there from the Yone. Triple golden comes in. Neversoft's gonna be there, but instantly gonna be tagged out by the Luxol. It's a massacre and it's a double kill, triple kill, a domination. An HG faltering on the Baron, faltering on the Otacon, faltering on the game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point in the season, we should know that we can't just say, oh, we're going to start Otacon and we're going to turn and we're going to try win a fight that way when they're baited in, because it almost never works. You have to set up around it, find the pick before it, and make sure it's fully secured, just because it removes like so many more resistances, especially than Baron, when that play generally can work, but it's just going to be them walking down the mid lane now. After losing that fight, the respawn timers are at 5 seconds. Is that just going to be the first game after 30 minutes?
Yeah, game number 1 taking a little bit longer than we expect with a 30-minute game. Baron Otacon getting taken. It's a domination, 15 kills to 29. And it's going to be already this 3-0 team looking to go out the gate swinging with a 4-0 lead in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a bloody game, but I feel like FBE just did a look better throughout that, just throughout the whole game there, with starting off with that Rek'Sai early gank into top lane, and then just laning leads, laning advantages on all 3 lanes, just succeeding everywhere. And HG, well, even with this pick comp, with these ults like the Pantheon ult and the Yone ability to roam coming through, just felt behind on every single play. It just felt like they were getting kind of outlaned and outskilled, and that is generally a really difficult thing to turn around in a series. So I'm not sure what they do. I think maybe if we draft a little more standard, maybe if we draft a couple 1-button comps, maybe that can somewhat fix their problem. They do have side select again, so they can choose this blue side or go over to that red side for game 3. We will wait and see. For now, we are going to head to a quick break as we wait for players to ready themselves back up again, and we'll be back with game 2. And we are back with game two. Sides have not swapped. So it will be interesting because we certainly had one of the drafts of all time last game. So it'll be interesting to see what changes, what stays the same. Some of these bans we're probably expecting to stay very similar. Aurora, Skarner banned away. As we are waiting for what will come through. It was a very bloody and very exciting game, but I'm just curious as to what HG can do to come back and get the front foot back in this game as the Kaiser is banned away. One thing I kind of felt is that the Rek'Sai was definitely the one causing a lot of the problems. The jungler for final boss was always there in lanes, always making plays. Sometimes they were a bit far, but they were always there making that play. Whereas Pantheon, you're a little stuck until you get to that level 6. As we do see the Rek'Sai panned away, so maybe that's a positive. But maybe it's a change in the jungle here for HG, as we see what they pick up.
Yeah, these are going to be extremely similar bans as last game. The only real difference is going to be that Rek'Sai getting banned out, which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense since that, as you said, that Rek'Sai was extremely volatile. And it is kind of odd to see the Skarner getting banned away since Skarner and Velka or Rek'Sai do have a lot of similarities. Lux can be picked up once more. A very interesting pick, and we might just see the same draft coming once time and time again. But no, Talia gonna be picked up instead. I assume this is going to be a mid laner. Maybe the Pantheon. I don't even know. These drafts have been absurd. So the Talia probably going to be in the jungle, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
I do think I can try and confirm it for you. It is the jungler that plays Pantheon, I think, and Ryan is the top laner. They're the one that plays the most Talia. I'm not sure. Are they allowed to? You're not allowed to like swap roles during the game, so the top laner can't go jungle, right? In this league, you can. Okay. So yeah, I mean, what they could do is Ryan does play a lot of Talia jungle, and um, the person with all the Greek letters that was um playing jungle in the last game, they play a lot of Pantheon, so they could do a little swap there. I'm not expecting a Talia top, but it's the Amumu and Nautilus. I love this. They have just a couple buttons, a go in button, and a hard CC button, and they work really well. I keep it simple, have a lot of fun. That being said, Silas is a very good pick into both of those. Silas with the Curse of the Sad Mummy ultimate or the depth charge, that's what it's called, coming through can cause a lot of damage. Oh, that's not that silly AD Silas build, is it? Oh,
Oh,
I hope
I
not.
mean, realistically, running an 80 Silas wouldn't be the greatest thing in the world since you already have that Pantheon who does very
Mm-hmm.
similar works.
Yeah.
But with that AD in mind, I mean, 3 stuns already getting picked out for this boy's side. Kind of absurd, not gonna lie, especially since you are on match point here. To play this crazy composition, I mean, maybe it'll work, but we didn't see the Lux find the value you would want in the AD carry
Mm-hmm.
position last game, so maybe something will change, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I don't know if the luck wants to look into a different role or we are playing a Lux Nautilus bot line. Not sure how I feel about either of them. It's gonna be the Yone taken away. FBE identifying that there probably does have to be some source of AD coming through in that mid lane. And as I was saying, Arist, Corky man, wonderful. Um, Arist does have these three AD mid laners that they have been playing. Um, it's Yone, Yasuo, and Pantheon, and Yasuo is open. It could be picked. Can pair decently well with the Nautilus, but I don't think that Neversaw is going to mind too much about that one. And then the Pantheon and the Yone have obviously both been taken away in different ways as the Maokai comes through.
Definitely interesting seeing the Maokai here. I mean, I feel like that's probably gonna be playing the support position, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
That could be a top laner, that could be a jungler, it could be anything. We've seen these teams unlock the craziest things time and time again. I'm not gonna make any type of prediction because I know it's just gonna be wrong. Let's see what this blue side has to offer us. Galio, another CC character with the fear. How insane is this? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You also get the knockup, you get so many abilities. HG is gonna be really happy.
Mm-hmm. But they do seem to be lacking just a little bit of damage. We do want a big threat coming out in this last pick, and it's going to be the Yasuo. As I was saying, does have two champions that can give good knockups. But to be said, on the other side, Silas, Maokai, and Talia, with that Silas Yasuo ult, does have good potential for big combo ultimates with that Yasuo as well. As the Galio ultimate being good for Silas as well. This Silas is just getting stronger and stronger as the champions seem to be being picked up, and the Bessa is becoming quite a known counterpick to this Galio in the top lane if that is the role it's going in. Which I think it must be. I mean, if we were making laning predictions for either team, it would be difficult. They both have drafted certainly fun comps again, and HG did do what I asked. They drafted a lot of press one button wombo combo in the fights, and FBE, their draft does seem a little slower. They've gotten rid of that Rek'Sai. They've changed it for the Pantheon, the Maokai. Generally a little less playmaking in that 1 to 6 range. Before those ultimates come online. So maybe a bit of a slower early game. Maybe we'll see some proper scraps over some of these objectives. But it would be interesting to see. Do you have a composition you prefer, do you think?
I mean, composition HG for sure. Like, who even is the AD carry in this opposition? Are you running the Talia in bot? Are you running the Pantheon in bot? Like, that just, it makes no sense.
Oh, I didn't even notice. They don't have anyone that could even be considered for that bot lane position on
Yeah.
FBA. In a typical sense, anyway. I mean, you would think it would have to be Talia to have that bit of range, but that's going to be certainly interesting to see. I think that we are going to throw it to a quick break. And when we get into draft, we can see where these champions will go. It'll be exciting to see. We'll see you when we get into this game too, for what should be another exciting and another bloody match. So we'll see that.
the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. A soul right of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last times.
And we are back. Game 2. We have Herald Groovies here on the blue side. Everyone's lining up. Final boss Esports on the red side. It's the Talia in the AD carry in that bot lane position. Dr. Knocker's back on the Lux. As we're looking out, maybe Pantheon is a little cold.
Oh, what about damage? It's like a come out. That's the power of the exhaust for you, but instead, it's just not enough to secure the kill. Going to be a little bit more damage out, but no flash can be wasted just yet. Instead, both of these bot lanes going back to lane, looking to recover. Gonna see this game go into normal lane states, and as we said earlier on, going to be that Talia playing in that bot lane position. A crazy character we've seen here. So we're going to see how well this can really find profit. But realistically speaking, it's going to become extremely difficult to kind of pilot this champion in a way that makes it equal, if not better, than the average AD carry.
Yeah, certainly. But looking at Ryan's runes, it does look like he might be leaning towards, I mean, Grasp is very popular, but leaning towards that AD variant of the Silas as the hook comes through, and the Maokai Talia really just struggling here in this lane. One thing to say is Pantheon did have to start E. Maybe hinders the clear a bit. Wow, what a dredge line.
Oh,
So just
wow.
chunk out Essence there.
Look at that. Early damage can come out. Silas trying to get an advantage. The wave is just going to crash on down. Looks like when we look at this jungle pattern, this Pantheon's going to be the first to punch if they do try and go for this Galio. Galio really aggressive, clearing out the rocks, finding the pathing that this Pantheon has taken due to them loading. But there is no more camp in that one. Now, Caution comes through. They're not going to play defensively at all. I think they realize that the Pantheon is pathing botwards. Right now, they're just going to take this lead in this world. Oh, but damage. Looking to even out the HP line. Airborne comes out, but not going to be able to finish anything.
Yeah, going to be ticking down there. And Limbo will be slightly faster. Spirit Man now looking for the mid gang.
Oh, look
Never
at
saw.
that. But they're not going to be able to get the stun off again. This Nautilus forced to play pretty defensively here. But a lot of players are going to start coming over, looking to try and make a gank here. And it seems like this Yasuo hasn't noted them at all. Instead, they've been undiscovered. They're going to try and hopefully make some kind of play here. Oh, but yeah, going to. But Alice is already here.
Spirit Man had a little inkling, knew the Pantheon was missing. Hood lands.
Oh, wow. Oh, forced to flash. The Nautilus will fall. There's going to be Galio as well, and it's all up to these last two players to try and get out. Someone's going to come through. Airborne as well. Not going to be able to find out the kill. Looks like this red team finding the fate of Warfare. FBE can be extremely happy about that. And now it's all up to this Amumu to just get out, but not today. It's going to be 4 kills. Transferred over. FBE, the final bosses, looking to take this game stylish.
Yeah, and it's just Tate using that move speed that the Talia passive grants you near those walls to make that run in front of Dr. Knockers, who was trapped in the bot lane with that pushing wave there, to create the numbers advantage to make that early play work. Did look a little sketchy when Pantheon fell to the Amumu, but it's not going to be a big worry at all. Can come up, get the Krug reset, and continue clearing down. As I mean, I kind of missed it. Ryan got a solo kill.
Seems like in that top side they were able to still find value. It kind of shows with a little bit of defensive builds being built for both of them. Actually, a little bit more offensive from the Galio, which is something you don't really see that often. Applying talent, but there's going to be a little bit more defensive abilities with the magic resist already coming out for this Silas. You definitely got to give them top praise to being able to really get that counter items online, but a lot of minions are going to start bursting down onto Ryan here. Going to be able to land all of their abilities, but they're still going to play aggressive. Chance going to come out, making that taunt available. Still, they're going to be playing aggressive. Knockup is there, but it's going to be John Die to die right in the midst of those minions. A horrific first kill for them, or not even the first one's a double kill. They've already shown their power. It's going to look even stronger. Oblivion Orb is going to be bought out, but that's not enough to find out a Silas.
Yeah, I mean, it could help, but if Silas just sticks to these short trades, getting the W in before a lot of the damage comes through from Galio, can activate that Oblivion Orb. And I mean, it's tough for the Galio if this is AD Silas. Galio really synergizes quite well with the Hollow Denial as the bandage front line.
Oh, all the damage coming out onto Tate, but they're just going to be able to back outplay from the range. Oh, but it's not going to matter. DK Knocker's going to be able to get the kill. Fox comes over the wall. Tate's going to take a little bit more damage. Stun comes through, but there's going to be the turret. But not going to matter too much with Yamumu. Traded their kill, and 4 kills have already been obtained for HG. They're starting to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, they are trying to claw their way back. Positive play there on the bot side. And Spirit Man does look a lot more confident. It is the AP Silas. I have been mistaken, talking a little too much. There's going to be a tankier variant with the grass bot there on the top side. As Spirit Man just looks a lot more confident, a lot more ready to make plays. And the Nautilus, his engages are a little simpler than Thresh's, a little more effective, as well as more trading is happening here on the top side.
Or will John Die fall once more? There's going to be the ult coming out, and they're going to be able to drop that, but John Die is just going to help out with these grubs, trying to get the healing as well. Silas going to start moving down along with Pantheon, but Void Grub going to be confirmed. 3 given over. There's going to be the double stun. Triple stun comes out along with the taunt, and this Silas will be shut down in the end. Rich will be there looking for more. It's a complete massacre over this last jungler, looking to go for something, able to slay Artist, looking to get out, but not going to be able to do it. Finding no escape, and it seems like FBE's gap is starting to close, and they're losing that momentum with a 500 gold deficit.
Yeah, and I mean, just with this much simpler comp, with a much simpler identity, pressure our buttons and lock people up, HG are performing a lot better. Maybe Dr. Noctis is caught as I'm saying this. There's bounty on him. It would not be the greatest, but it's going to wriggle their way out. As Biddy here, we're ready to regank.
Oh, big damage to come out on the top side. Ryan, despite getting taken down before, they're still going to be up. They're still looking for more. They're not going to be able to connect onto any real kill potential. Still though on the bottom side, the progression is seen from FBE. final bosses. They want to be able to take this game, bring it to a 2-0, but still, they gotta worry about the now. And with the now not being in their favor whatsoever, it's definitely going to be difficult to find this win.
Yeah, they are just that little bit behind, and they do not have the same kind of objective control as Ryan is pushing deep, getting that deep ward. Maybe a little too deep, doesn't have Pantheon with him. As he's just going to be able to walk out after securing that deep ward, slowing Biddy down a little bit. Chondai is going to go back to base, still struggling here in this lane. Galio versus Silas. As pings are coming out. Grand Staff was coming on a moment as a bot plays happening.
Oh, let's see. We got this. Pantheon trying to fight the ult from the Mbessa, going to be able to dodge. Right now, it's still not looking too familiar from last game. It's very evened up, unlike what we saw previously. It's only 9 minutes and 50 seconds, but already 13 kills have been found. Really not looking like either team wants to wait whatsoever. They want to play aggressive. They want to do it as fast as possible. Through. Looking like the airborne, we're seeing the force of nature. If we get the stun off, though, it is not going to matter. Despite being able to connect the ult, it's just going to be able to burn them down. If they could still be able to get out, the tower is going to be really needed here. Stun's able to root them up, but there's still so many people around. It's complete misplay. The FBA might be taken down. Wall needs to be coming out. Tate's going to be still found out, though, with the ultimate coming in from the Nautilus. Doing a stellar job at being able to bait out the ultimate at least. Oh, Blast Gun's going to come out, but Essence seems to just be delaying the inevitable. Can they get out and be completed by a turret? That would be the ideal situation, but no, they're just going to be able to find themselves a recall either way.
Yeah, and that's the second time Dr. Knockers has found their way out of the play as the hook comes through.
Oh no, another kill in HG. They've not only taken the lead on kills, but they've also taken the lead on gold with a over 1,000 gold lead. They're looking amazing right now. And I don't know where this came from because this is not the same team we saw last game.
But yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to the fact that they've drafted a much simpler, much more easy to execute comp with these one button. Spirit Man is going to hook in. It's just going to be taken down.
Oh, look,
it's going to be... Is Essence going to live? Oh, Ryan as well! Oh, it's falling all apart for final boss here.
Not gonna be the end of the world. One kill will be secured, and that's definitely not too bad, but they're still down gold compared to the Amumu, which really is just such a bad place to be in. I mean, scaling-wise, I do think, realistically speaking, FBE should have the advantage, because once we get into big team fights, there's not going to be a lot of damage output. HG is being able to get kills, but it's primarily just being because of some pretty good positions and lackluster awareness from their opponents. Once it gets to a point where you need to be fighting, it's going to be bad. And there's going to be a flash for nothing. Like, it's things like this where I still don't think FBE is out of the woods just yet. They're definitely not in a bad spot. Sun's going to come through. A great ultimate from the Galio double combo will be activated. 3v2 situation, double airborne is going to be here. The Super Best is starting to climb their way over. It's not going to matter. The Pantheon with a double kill, looking for more, and it's going to be a triple kill, a stellar performance, getting that in a masterclass win. FBE taking this gold lead and starting to close the gap at least a little bit, going for the bot tower and still being able to complete some plays. Now back onto the Nautilus, trying to get that damage to give them a little bit more resources. Not going to be there just yet. Instead, the Mbessa keeping their damage up, and it's going to be the Pantheon to ult right over. And it was way too aggressive and way too sloppy from this Nautilus.
Yeah, that started with Ryan stealing away that Galio ult there and getting out just in the last second, managing to cast that. They had nothing to interrupt that. Amumu Qs were both down. No ability to do any kind of damage on the Silas. Managed to get that channel off, get that 3-man knockup, which was completely clutch in the fight. They did only secure one grub, but it was just totally positive for them, now equaling out the gold lead, then never saw keeping Spirit Man entertained in the mid lane and able to pick up that kill with the Grand Starfall coming on top of it. And now kind of more and more Pink Spirit Man continuously trying to force this mid lane play, keep trying to make it work. With the last breath to come on top of it, it can be successful quite easily, especially if Biddy is around as well. But it is just going to be backed off. And there's a little scrapper on the top side. Could go further.
Let's see, will Ryan be able to find a solo kill? Will they be found out as well? There's going to be Moo bringing in some utility, but it's going to be a flash? No, not a flash. A little bit of a miscommunication on my end, but there's miscommunication on their end as well. Just Moo thinking they could be able to just instantly get up there with the ultimate and find the kill. Not going to be able to happen just yet. Teleport back into the lane. John, instantly, you should have recalled there to get more utility out. But now Rod of Ages is going to be bought out for the Silas, and you're going to have only a Hextech Alternator to really try and contend with it damage-wise.
Oh, there's going to be the knock-up in the last breath coming through.
Smoke in there because Ryan instantly shutting down. It's going to be a complete misplay. Over-aggression from them. The counter push was phenomenal. And this top lane counter might just fall because of it. No flash, no teleport available. And this cannon wave is going to be able to withstand a lot. Going back into the bot side. 3v2 situation. We're going to get some F stun as well. Damage comes out, bursting down the enemy. But it's going to be a Luxel to try and get out. More enemies coming over to try and deal with HG. Get this gold wig back into their hands. Not going to be able to connect the stun. Oh, but still, never saw it's going to be right over here with Salzman Mikali last game. This game, they're going to be able to get some more value by the looks of it. Still, though, Dark Knox is going to be the first one. Engage comes in out. It's going to be the investor to get the first little bit of damage. TP is in. Seems like the Galio looking to try and get some assist in here, but it's going to be a complete obliteration. Still not found out. Still not collected upon, but this Pantheon is just living forever. They're finally going to be able to shut down. 694 shutdown. The Nautilus is trying to re-engage, but that's going to be a little bit of a wonder by the looks of it. Never mind, it's looking really good. Cannon starts hitting and hitting good as well. Although the investor is going to be able to find out this Galio, looking for more, and they're going to just be able to win this fight competitively. They're making this game look winnable.
Now, this is a lot of what we saw from FB last game, but they were just had such good control of the map, it didn't really matter. They were over-forcing on these plays, overstaying. They could have just said, good, we got the kill on the moment, we can back out here. If Pantheon's caught, if he can't escape, that's fine. We can just leave him be, but they tried to over-force on the play. They really thought it was good. And also what we're seeing from last game, which is now being punished more, is Ryan, despite being seemingly quite mechanically confident, keeps getting caught out on this side lane. And in this game, it's led to Galio being able to roam a lot more freely, and it's led to his turret being taken down. Maybe it's happening here again as Biddy comes through.
Oh, big damage. Thanks to come out onto Ryan. Able to copy out the Amumu ult, but will they try and re-engage? There's going to be the Pantheon coming straight on back into the fight. Able to get John die to an extremely volatile AP line. Bringing in the Talia to close the gap, forcing them against the wall. The rock at the hard place is going to be there. Stun comes down onto the last remaining Yasuo, and they shut down. And this counter plays look phenomenal. The investment in the bot lane completely demolishing everyone they've been going against.
Yeah, and Bessa just such a tough and difficult champion to 1v1. We even saw 11 down there, relatively equal items, especially with the boot upgrade on the side of Herald. But it's just, this Ambassador is just too tough to duel, especially with the Eclipse and all the shielding coming through. It's just too difficult. And when they try to make that pick onto Ryan, just went a little too far, didn't respect the Grand Starfall, the ability to rotate up from that Pantheon as quickly as possible. And then it's also just this Grand Starfall and this Weaver's Wall both able to instantly be in that fight. That one thing to note is Ryan is looking for a scrap. Oh, big damage. Ultimate come out from the Lux, not going to be able to find anything.
There's going to be a few not taking anything as well. Still though, Ryan's going to play really aggressive here, trying to collect those kills, and Tate's going to be the one to find it. Securing the kill, looking for more, but it's going to be Artist to try and get that re-engage to get the kill, leaving up the player deficit in this fight. But right now, it seems like both teams looking to play for the Dragon. HG's been doing good, collecting upon those with 2 Drakes already in their favor. Next up is going to be the Ocean Soul. Stuns there, but not going to be able to collect. And that lack of kind of proactivity is being what can lead to the downfall right now. Though Silas himself back and looking to potentially head up to the top lane. Maybe try and find those waves once more, but it's going to be a fight win for FBE.
FBE are going to be able to pick up this fight. As you said, no objectives alive. But this Pantheon is now just so strong. 2.3k gold lead on him alone. The rest of the team balancing that out a bit to the 1.6 BC as is Ambessa thought, never saw. Oh my god, so much damage.
That's going to be the voice of nature, looking for more. Reaver's Wall to come in as well. Double kill from the Ambessa, looking for more. The stun up onto John Dye is going to make it really difficult for them to get anywhere. His turret's about to falter as well with Cannon Wave. It's almost all but inevitable. The Nautilus starting to back up, realizing they cannot contest. And now it's going to be a complete divergence up towards this Baron and potentially the Otacon as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking like it. It is not 25 minutes, that's when the Baron spawns nowadays, but the Otacon is being hit. But it, yeah, and as one thing to say here is that these global mobility ultimates, like the Grand Starfall, like the Weaver's Rule, FBE have been utilizing so much better than we've seen the Heralds use them, and now that's just going to be the ability to pick up that Otacon, as we've seen FBE's gold lead slowly grow since that 17-minute mark to now, not slowly, even quite rapidly after these plays keep getting made. And HG definitely have more positive light in this game. Lux should certainly be more of a threat than she was last game. They do have 2 dragons they're sitting on, so they don't have to be as scared of the Soul. It is an ocean, generally not as impactful, but with something like the Silas, like the Ambessa, like the Pantheon, like the Maokai, they can stay they can stay alive long in these fights. It's a similar story for the Galio and Mumu. Similar characters on the other side. Both teams would really like this. The contest is here. Pantheon so strong, fights as well to Lux.
Oh, this engage is got a triple hit from the ultimate though from the Luxor. That's gonna be really nice, and seems like because of it, it's gonna be complete just destruction, and the crumbling has been looking great so far this game. Doubleson's gonna come out, looking to black out, gonna be able to do it. TP's coming in, it's not gonna be there just yet, but Galio's finally gonna get that airborne. Right now, it's still not gonna be too good. It's going to be hit by that. Oh, but it's gonna be a Galio ult straight on into the opponent. John Dye still though getting complete counter aggression into the Ambessa diff, doing a good pushing. This just looks like it's you're watching Iron versus Diamond right now, and it's the Ambessa, and their teammates and the enemies are the Iron. This is a 1v9 practically with how good they've been playing.
This is truly an incredibly strong performance coming out from Neversaw. This Ambessa champion as well, just the ability to do that, just to stand in front of 5 people. And because they don't really have any true burst, once that Lux ult has fallen, and if the last breath from the Yasuo doesn't hit, they'll have a really difficult time taking down this Ambessa. Eclipse will keep proccing, that W shield will keep her alive. And that is just the fight and the dragon taken there by FBE. As now the Baron is up, we might be looking for something similar. Neversaw still does have to perform mechanically well in these fights. I mean, one thing to note as well was that was a bit of a 4v5. Ryan wasn't there. John Dye did TP in, so that top tier 2 is now taken as well as the Baron still isn't up. It's still not 25 minutes, can you believe it? After 47 kills, sorry, in the game. The Herald is going to be taken by the Heralds 2 games in a row. Very fitting, I suppose. And just so much action. And now I didn't even notice Riot's taking this tier 2 on the pot side. 3-level lead here in this top lane matchup. And all the gold as well. It's 7k for FB. They just have a commanding, solid situation in this game. Really showing their class. Just seem to be not only outplaying mechanically, but Ryan in these macro plays as well. Just saying, I think we can win, I can stay top, I can stay bot, I can force these fights. And now there's just constant waves pushing in. Mid tier 2, I'm sure, is soon to fall, as the Baron spawning in 30 seconds. They do certainly have the setup, have the push to be able to start that. As Neversaw is looking for picks here on the bot lane.
Oh, but that exhaust is going to be really big. Right now it's looking strong, but with the double stun coming in, Groovies ball can be there. There's the Pantheon has its ult as well. John dies with the first of all. There's going to be Silas taken offline, but after that you don't see it and you blink, and there's going to be a double stun. And that double stun leads to the annihilation and a triple kill coming out from the Ambessa, and Neversaw, after a lackluster performance on the Akali, has completely changed it around with a 14-2 with 7 assists performance on this Ambessa, doing a amazing job being that playmaker, and they want to end.
Yeah, 3 minions left, 10 seconds until the Galio respawns. They need to be careful. Minion wave coming in now. Could be okay. John Dye can try his best. Doesn't have teammates for 5 seconds. That does look like it's just going to be the end of the game. Final Boss Esports are going to take it 2-0 over the Herald Groovies.
Herald is not going to be able to do much. They're ending their season 1-2-3, or not ending, but continuing into it, which is really rough. Not going to be able to equalize it just yet. Let's see if they can do it later on. However, this Final Boss Esports team going 4-0 in this season, doing a phenomenal job at knocking out anyone that comes their way.
Yeah, I mean, after these performances from Final Boss Esports, you have to think that if they find a way to maybe slow it down, stop giving away as many kills, this team could be unstoppable. But for now, these games look scrappy. They're certainly exciting. They're certainly fun. Managed to close that one out in just 25 minutes with an incredible performance there from Neversaw. It's going to be exciting to see what this team does later as we advance into the playoffs. But wow, I mean, what a 2 game of League of Legends. Both kind of they looked close in the first like 10-15 minutes in terms of scoreline, but Final Boss Esports did just look like they're another class.
Yeah, really. They just kind of demolished their opponents in each and every angle towards the end there. Obviously, as you said, beginning looked like it was Herald Groovies' game to win, but after that, they just kind of started breaking apart. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it from us at Summit Esports. Make sure to stay tuned for more games coming up. But see you later. Thank you so much. My name has been Cherry Jane, joined by, or sorry, brought with Z Duck. Sorry, I can't even talk right now. It is way too late. Make sure to go to bed. Make sure to have a good night, and we're gonna see you all later. Peace.
Right.